Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Once upon a time, there were two brothers, Qasim and Ali Baba, lived in a country. Qasim was married to the daughter of a wealthy merchant and living in a happy and luxurious life. Ali Baba was married to the daughter of a poor family and living in a small hovel. Ali Baba was making his living by selling the wood in the town. One day, Ali Baba went to collect the wood again. He heard horses when he was about to cut a tree with his axe. He saw a group of gang coming into the woods. He was scared of them and hid behind a tree. Ali Baba counted the horsemen one by one. 1, 2, 3, and 40! They were 40. They stood next to a huge rock. The head of thieves called to the rock, "Open, sesame, open!" The huge rock piece moved sideways, and a passage was opened. After all the thieves went in, the giant rock closed the gate again. After a long time, the horses went out of the cave, and their chief said some magical words to close the door. "Close, sesame, close." The door closed itself again, and the thieves left there. When Ali Baba saw all that was going on, he thought to himself, "I can say these magical words and open the door, too." Then he shouted loudly in front of the rock, "Open, sesame, open!" As soon as he said it, the door opened and Ali Baba came in. In the cave, there were a lot of jewels, precious stones, and other precious objects. Ali Baba was surprised to see so many gold coins and precious stones together. He hurriedly picked up gold coins and loaded them on his animals. Ali Baba covered the cave with bushes in order not to see anyone, and headed to his house, and he told the whole story to his wife, showing what he took from the cave. Ali Baba said to his wife, "Go to Qasim's house. Bring the scale, weigh the gold." Qasim's wife gave the scale, but she secretly put some glue on the scale. After weighing the coins, Ali Baba's wife brought back the scale, but she didn't know that one of the gold coins was stuck to the bottom of the scales. When Qasim came home, his wife told him the whole story. Qasim went to Ali Baba's house and asked about the golden coins. Ali Baba told the whole story by saying his magical words. The next day, Qasim went to the cave. He said the magical words in front of the cave. At that moment, the door to the cave was opened. When he walked in, he was standing in front of more gold, jewels, and more. He collected as many gold jewels as his mule would carry, but he forgot all the mysterious words he would say. He said loudly, "Close, barley, close!" But the door didn't close. "Close, wheat, close!" Again in vain. Qasim tried hard, but he couldn't close the door of the cave. At that time, thieves came to the cave and saw Qasim in the cave with gold-loaded mules. The head thief got furious and killed Qasim Baba, saying, "You will suffer the consequences of what you did." When Qasim Baba did not come home, his wife hastily ran to Ali Baba and told what happened. Ali Baba went to the cave and said, "Open, sesame, open!" Then he entered the cave and found his brother's body there. Desperately, he brought his brother's body to his home. The burial preparations were made by Qasim's wife and the servant Morgiana. Ali Baba told the servant Morgiana, "We have to do the funeral preparations quietly. Otherwise, the thieves will come after us." "Don't worry, sir. I'll find a close-lipped helper," said Morgiana. After a while, Morgiana brought an old tailor blindfolded to wash and shroud the body for the funeral. The funeral was washed and buried with the help of the tailor. With the death of Qasim, his son Abdullah took over his bussiness. Ali Baba moved to Qasim's home to help the family. Because of the fear of the thieves, the two families decided to join hands and help each other. Not having seen the Qasim's body in the cave, the thieves suspected that somebody knew their secrets. The head of the thieves, Abu Hassan, appointed a man to find who it was. The appointed thief disguised himself as a merchant and began his research in the town's bazaar. When the weather got dark, He saw a tailor's light turn on when all the stores closed. "How can you work in the dark at this age?" he asked the tailor. The tailor answered, "I can do anything in the dark." Once I washed and shrouded a body in the dark, the thief learned the address of the house where the tailor went in exchange for a gold coin. The thief drew a giant cross on the door of Ali Baba's house. So the next day, when he and his friends came there, they would recognize the house right away. When Morgiana saw the cross on the door, she got flurried and drew the same cross on all the doors of the houses in the neighborhood. The next day, when the thieves saw the same sign in every door, they were confused and could not find Ali Baba's house and turned back. But in the end, the head thief found Ali Baba's house. He knocked Ali Baba's door dressed as a merchant. He had loaded 40 cubes on the mules, in each of which had one thief. He told Ali Baba that he was a merchant and he had 40 cubes of oil, and if he was going to be able to have him as a guest tonight. Ali Baba welcomed his guest with kindness and respect. At night, the head thief came to the warehouse where the cubes were and said to his men, "When you hear my hand clap at midnight, get out of the cubes and attack the members of the family." Morgiana heard about this conversation and realized they were in trouble. She went to Qasim's son, Abdullah, and told the situation. "Abdullah, they are 40 people, but we are very few. We cannot deal with them." He made a plan with Morgiana. They boiled a large amount of oil and poured it on top of 40 cubes and killed the thieves. At midnight, the head thief clapped his hands to get his men out of the cubes, but there was no sound from the cubes. When he clapped his hand for the second and third times, he didn't see any movement, so he opened the lid of the cubes and saw all his men dead. The household members heard the head thief and awakened. When Morgiana screamed, the head thief was arrested. Ali Baba was very pleased with what Morgiana did to save the family. "You are a very good girl. I wish you would be my nephew Abdullah's wife," he said to her. Morgiana embraced this proposal with pleasure and lived a happy life by marrying Qasim's son.